What's going on, everybody? This is the Autistic Mystic. I am back in action, coming at you with an all signs tarot reading for the month of May. So, we're going to go through all 12 zodiac signs, and I'm going to give you my update for what's going on with all the signs for May 2025. Honestly, don't ask me where I've been. I don't even know. I don't even know if, I'm still on the same planet that I've been on. And I say that with hesitancy. And I also say that with a little bit of arrogance mixed in with humbleness as well. So I don't know if I got shifted to like an alternative version of Earth, even though that literally happens every second anyway. But anyway, we're not gonna waste any time with this. What we're gonna do is jump into this all signs tarot reading. Something that I will tell you though, before we get into it about what I've been doing, is just absolutely obsessing over astrocartography. Basically, it's the astro mapping stuff, and I've been living, breathing it, doing nothing but waking up, looking at maps, traveling to different locations, basically figuring out how it works in real time. And I actually have those readings open and available. I also have natal chart readings open and available. I also have exclusive coaching packages open and available. So if you're missing me on YouTube and you're wanting to connect more with me one-to-one, then make sure you click the link in the description box below where you can work with me one-to-one. Because if you book an astrocartography reading or a natal chart reading with me right now, you'll find the prices to be lower than they ever will be in the future. So if you're looking to book an astrocartography reading or a natal chart reading with me, now is definitely the time to do it. And I'm really excited to just get back in action and do this tarot reading. So like I said, we're going to go through all the signs. But basically, I've been realizing that we are in a form of simulation of virtual reality. And basically, astrocartography is the map that allows certain frequencies to become unlocked, so to speak. It's like your birth chart is the foundation for this matrix, for the virtual reality. It's basically like the foundation. But astrocartography, if you change your location, you change your life, whether that's just a short visitation or a long-term thing. And I've been mapping out how this works in real time, so I know that a lot of you will appreciate the readings and more videos to come on it in the future. It's just that if you want the exclusive knowledge from me right now, the best way to do it is to book a reading. So let's just go ahead and start this reading off with the sign of Aries. All right, so we're going to start this off with my frequency tarot deck. And I'm sorry, we're going to do this. So this is for the month of May 2025. What frequency does the sign of Aries need more of for the month of May 2025? What frequency does Aries need more of? And I would suggest that you listen to your sun, moon, and rising sign. Also, you can check out your Mars sign, your Venus sign. So like the way that I view this is that if you listen to your ascendant sign, it will affect like how your personality and your physical body will be affected this month. If you listen to your sun sign, it will be more so how your soul is going to be affected, how the overall big picture is going to be affected. If you listen to your moon sign, it will be like how your relationships, your unconscious side, your subconscious mind will be affected. And the best way to do this is to listen to all three as a combination. So, like I said, what frequency does the sign of Aries need to embody for the month of May 2025? Nurture. Let's see, Aries. What frequency does Aries need more of? Nurture. Diversity. Nurture, diversity, calming, mother, and relationship. All right. So the first two cards coming out here, Aries, are nurture and diversity. So this is about being open to new styles of relating. Diversity is the frequency that transcends race, that transcends stereotypes. And so you really have to nurture, some of you are being called to just, maybe explore your your diverse side, the side of you that is not so traditional right now. Okay, this is what you need to do. Nurture your diversity. So I feel like intuitively this is about relationships that maybe you were like a little bit weirded out by, or a certain side of yourself that you need to nurture here, Aries. Also, calming. Make sure you stay calm. Okay, you can always retreat into yourself here in May. I think that's very important. And to nurture your own sense of calm. Okay, and also a diversity here. This is very important for you. But so I feel like it's about like sinking into your true nature beyond social conditioning is what I want to say. You also have mother and relationship. So this may be something to do with some of your baby mama. Some of you got like some pregnancy thing going on that you need to nurture, and some of you are afraid of having a gay child. No, well, some of you actually are. Some of you may be like needing to nurture a side of yourself that you feel is like inappropriate to nurture. That's not all the Aries, but what I find with Aries is like is raw. Is the raw energy. So if you're in Aries and you're trying to be like William Fancy Son, it's not going to go good for you in May. So you have to, some of you just need to nurture your relationship with your mother. But I feel, Selkie, I also feel for some of you Aries that you need to remother yourself. And there is a frequency here of mother, nurture, calming, diversity. So like maybe mothering your own inner child in a way that you didn't receive it before, or being open to other people doing that for you. All right, so we're going to keep those cards open, but Aries, now let's get into the real reading. And this is going to be like the style that you're used to. So what is coming through for Aries in May 2025? Overall general energy for Aries. Uh, yeah, I feel like you're rejecting part of your soft side. You may be trying to overcompensate, cover it up with a hearted thing. Like I basically went from like hold on. Hold on. Yeah, let me focus on this for Aries. So the first thing coming through Aries, like your overall general energy, you have the Page of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Three of Swords. So I feel like there's some sort of wounding about a side of yourself that you may be a little bit uncomfortable with, that you may feel like other people are going to reject you for it, or that you reject yourself. Like I basically started to I went from like becoming more open like with my sexuality to like going back to like ultra masculine and getting into like fucking fights and shit and fighting. So like I've had to work through this as well, where it's like part of me is like just be you, and then another parts of me comes in and is like fuck it, just like back to conservative nation, right? So it's like this struggle that I think Aries are going through to a certain, and you may have someone around you that cross watchers are welcome, right? Um, there may be a very actually in what you don't see coming, Aries. Hold on, let's do this. Let me just shut up and pull the energy for Aries. There's definitely healing to a third party situation by the end of the month, but not in the beginning. Oh, so yeah. So there's certainly like your overall general energy is the Page of Cups, Nine of Wands, and the Three of Swords. So there's definitely a potential for heartbreak having to do with unfinished business. I feel that this can have to do for some of you with a very immature person, okay, that may have somehow, or like a naive frequency that may be giving you trouble. Like let me just show you the cards, Aries. So this is your overall general energy. Page of Cups, Nine of Wands, Three of Swords. The first thing coming through for some of you is that there's a side of yourself. The Page of Cups is someone who is a mystery unto themselves. Okay? So there's a part of you here who wants to explore your own diversity, or wants to allow other people to be more diverse, but then there's a part of you that feels like that's self-betrayal. So there is a frequency here, Aries, for May, where it's like when happiness feels like self-betrayal, or when the universe is asking you to expand and you're not doing it. Now, for others of you, and as a double meaning for some of you, but for others of you, there's certainly a feeling here of your own naive nature, or that of someone who is extremely naive that is coming back to bite you, particularly in a third party situation. Your challenge is to have a very difficult victory, or to outwit the devil, so to speak. Let me just show you this in order. I'm warming up. I haven't been doing tarot, right? So your opportunity is the Nine of Swords. Interesting opportunity. And your challenge is the Six of Wands and the Devil. And in what you don't see coming, there's this thing about a third party situation, but by the end of the month, there's a lot of promise for healing it. So your opportunity may be here to kind of, I feel for some of you, this is about not betraying yourself or someone else anymore. The Nine is all about a completion of cycles, and it's about a phase of your life completing out. So no more stabbing yourself in the back. But for some of you, there may be an actual opportunity to kind of like fight fire with fire. And I would say this with hesitancy, but there is an opportunity to like avoid relationships with someone that you know a betrayal is coming, or you know that there's someone going to like stab you in the back. There may be an opportunity to listen to red flags when they come up. But for others of you, I feel like this is about your own self, where your opportunity is to like, if you're having nightmares about something, right? Because the Nine of Swords is like this person, like pay attention to your dreams and stuff like that, Aries. But your challenge is to like outwit the devil. And for some of you here, what you suppress grows stronger. So I feel like there's something here, especially with like nurturing. There's some part of yourself or a person that is calling out to be nurtured. It like needs your help. It needs your attention. And I feel like your opportunity is to like realize that if you just ignore them or the situation, then they may feel betrayed. And vice versa. I feel for you, if you're asking for attention, or if you're asking for a certain part of yourself to be seen, felt, and heard, and someone can't do it, then that may be an opportunity for you to kind of like meet your own needs in a way. Because there is a frequency here, Aries, as well, that's coming through. It's like, don't squeeze an orange and expect apple juice to come out. So I feel like that's what some of you are doing to yourself. But here's where it gets but some of you, there's someone here who you have there. I do feel like there's this energy of like, you've recently attracted people into your life that only accept a version of you that's not the complete version of you. That's what I feel for May. And then your challenge is the Five of Swords, Three of Wands, Three of Cups, and the Star. For some of you, there's definitely something here about payback, though. Like if you felt stabbed in the back by someone, then, or a situation, there is an element here for like retribution. The energy for you is actually devilish retribution for some of you. So some of you are gonna be like dirty slinging mud on these people. Like for some of you, Aries, this is about getting someone back. Now, I usually say, I don't need to strike back. I let God fight my battles. And then sometimes you say, Red Bull, no. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is so stupid. But what and that probably made no sense to most of you. What I'm saying here is that there's definitely there's a challenge for you to have like a devilish victory. But you have to ask, like, you have to remember that hurt people. And I feel like your challenge is that like you're kind of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't in this situation. Your challenge is definitely that like someone probably doesn't like you at all, or like has some sort of bad beef with you. I feel for most of you. Now, some of you have to realize that you actually have beef with yourself, though. Like some of you are also dealing with someone who doesn't understand themselves, so they're projecting it onto you. But your advice is the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Justice card. So with this being in your advice, Aries, I feel like this is karma. There is, like, the universe is saying good karma is coming to you. There's some sort of thing that, like, the advice is to be aware that there is some sort of retribution coming to you. And then you have the Five of Wands as well. So this is about, like, I feel like overcoming the competition in some sort of way. I want to clarify why I want to clarify why the Nine of Swords is your opportunity, Aries, though. Like, why is the Nine of Swords your opportunity? Immunity and spiritual guide and synchronicity. Yeah, you okay, for most of you, there's someone here who's absolutely, or a group of people, or someone who's looking to stab you in the back. Your opportunity may be to realize that it's through some sort of, like, weird gamesmanship or an extremely immature way of doing it. Your challenge is the Devil and the Six of Wands. So for some of you, that's to get a devilish victory. For others of you, the challenge is to be aware that someone's planning a devilish victory over you. That may be a zero-sum game having to do with three or more people and happiness. So I feel like with this here, Aries, is for most of you, there is an opportunity to take the high road and to basically become the antidote for the thing that you are struggling with. So you can either, like, sink to the level of the issue that you're going through and overcome it that way, because I do think you can do that. But I also think, like, that there's a different path where they say, like, the greatest revenge is to be unlike the person who caused the injury. So, your opportunity is immunity and spiritual guide. So I feel like there's someone baiting you into some weird devilish game, that synchronicity as well. The divine speaks to us through synchronicities. So yeah, I feel like there's this weird energy around you right now, Aries. And let's get like a couple more pieces of advice for Aries for May 2025. The Knight of Wands, Page of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. There definitely is something here to be said about, like, you having to take action and be brave. And don't be afraid to travel as well. Some of you, this is all about travel. Meet me in the desert. Meet me in the desert is what I would say to you, Aries. But, like, also slow and steady wins the race, but there is an element of speed, bravery. You need the element of fire. Okay, so that for some of you, there is certainly saying, if you don't fight fire with fire in this situation, you may get hurt. But sometimes fighting fire with fire isn't what you think. And I feel like there's a situation where, like, some sort of immature person wants to stab you in the back. Your opportunity is to recognize that. And then your opportunity is to calmly nurture yourself throughout this process. And to maybe even, like, to realize that whoever is coming after you in this way, and for some of you it's yourself, but for some of you, like, whoever's coming after you in this way is so resistant to their own expansion path that the easier thing is to just take it out on you in some sort of way. So that's what I got for Aries. Interesting month ahead, so to speak, right? So yeah, let me just make sure this isn't gonna overheat. It should be good for now. All right, now let's move on to Taurus. Let's do this for Taurus. Okay, what energy does Taurus need more of for May 2025? What energy does Taurus need more of? Change, security. So if some of you need to change your security guards suck. They're going to get blown out. Some of you, your security is not good. You need to install new cameras. You need to change your security. Now, some of you need to change your sense of where you place your security. You also have financial freedom and security. So investing, Taurus. Okay, but security, your security sucks. Your defense sucks. Change. You need to change. This is about a drastic change as well. Let's do one more for Taurus. What energy do they need more of? Logic diversity, and transcendence. I feel like this is like a logical a logical statement that variability is the world's most fundamental quality. And if you want people to accept you the way that you are, you must accept them the way that they are. You also have transcendence. So there's some sort of situation on the one hand, practical security, financial freedom, and change. On the other hand, it's about transcending your own logic when it comes to diversity. Some of you may be shut down in some sort of way to that, but I don't know. The main one sticking out is change your sense of security. Where do you put your sense of security? Right? My whole life I lived with 0 doors locked. My whole life I never locked my door ever. Now I do. So I don't know. So let's go ahead and actually do this reading for Taurus. But the energy that you need more of is financial freedom, change, maybe change the way you make money, security, transcendence, logic, and diversity. So you and Aries both need diversity. All right, what energy is coming Taurus's way for May 2025? Let's see. All right, Taurus. So yeah, it looks like, it's interesting how you have change and security as the energy that you need more of. And then your overall general energy is about security, change, and the part of fortune. So your overall general energy is the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. So this would indicate to me security, changing it, and in search of your ninth and 10th cup. I feel like there's some sort of situation that is stagnant. It is solid, but it's not really that solid, if you know what I'm saying. There's some sort of opportunity for improvement on some sort of level. And there's something here that is not satisfying you anymore. There's some sort of home that you could be living in that may not actually be as secure as you think that it is. There's something here about taking an emotional risk, walking away into the unknown in order to integrate yourself, in order to claim prize. You know what I mean? Like this is about spiritual integration here. The Wheel of Fortune is the jackpot. So if you stay where you are and you stay in your routine, you're going to get more of the same. But this is also a predictive reading, so I feel that by the end of May, there's going to be a faded experience, but it will require you to leave behind some sort of security or to change some sort of security. And some of you, because you need as well, like you need diversity, you need logic, you need the autistic mystics council, my friend. You know, I'm sorry, but I don't think your logic is Pope. So and anyway, in what you don't see coming, you have the Four of Cups, the Five of Wands, and also the Seven of Pentacles. So this is about some sort of turning down some sort of competition and resting on your laurels and what you don't see coming. So some of you may be offered some sort of some of you as well are feeling bored, like in what you don't see coming, this home thing isn't going to do it for you anymore. Some sort of security that you're resting on. This could be a place that you're living. This could be people that you're living with. This is some sort of emotional situation you have going on as well. You need it, there's some sort of adventure calling, but as the energy reads right now, you may be more content to just to not really um to not really do it, or in some sort of way there may be some sort of offer that doesn't work for you and you'd rather just sharpen your skills, or you'd rather just kind of like work on other things. The Five of Wands has to do with training. Missed him. Training. So there's some sort of training here that you need to focus on. There also may be some sort of form of competition that you are feeling comfortable about turning down. Uh so you have this Seven of Pentacles as well. So by the end of the month, honestly, like who cares, bro? You're gonna be great. You're gonna be a-okay. You're gonna be resting on your money and you're gonna be in the flow. But at the same time, there could be some sort of quest here that you are turning down, Taurus, in some sort of way. So don't be afraid of competition. Don't be afraid of 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 training in a way that you feel called to. And your advice, you have the Six of Wands, the Devil, and the Queen of Pentacles here. So this is about victory. This is about overcoming your own toxicity as well, or overcoming the toxicity of some sort of Earth female sign as well. This could just be focused on your money. This could be telling you to actually go for some sort of devilish victory that, as the energy reads right now, you're kind of turning down. You know what I mean? So in this way, Taurus, I feel like the advice is that you need to outwit the devil to overcome your own toxicity in some sort of way and to focus on your money. There is a lot of good money things coming in for you by the end of the month. The energy that you need as well is financial freedom, and you have chain security, financial freedom. So there is a lot of financial freedom coming in for you by the end of the month. But I do sense that there's some sort of y- like it's definitely about your opportunity this month is the Knight of Wands. Excuse me, the Knight of Cups. So this is about being dreamy. This is also about romance. Romance is in the air. Don't let anything F with your romance. Okay. And then you have the Six of Cups as well in your challenge. So the Six of Cups in your challenge has to do with childhood issues coming up. I feel for many of you, your deepest challenge in May 2025 is going to be childhood issues coming to the surface. This could have to do with children. This can also have to do with your hometown. This has to do with all things related to like early schooling, your family, things like that. And because you're leaving that, like for some of you, it's like maybe there's like a loyalty to home or like a loyalty to your hometown, like as a tourist you're like, this is my territory, this is mine, my area. But maybe the universe is kind of telling you it's not, it ain't worth it. It's time to go expand your territory. You know what I mean, in some sort of way. So that's kind of what I feel here. Now let's just clarify a few of these cards for you. I mean, let's clarify why the Four of Wands, excuse me, the Four of Cups is here. You may be feeling rejected by your home area a little bit, or just like it's stale. Why is the Four of Cups here in what you don't see coming? The Queen of Wands and the High Priestess and the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, maybe for some of you people that you live with, or like whatever you're rejecting, people may find it to be over the top, like you may also be having an issue with a female fire sign. And for a lot of you, this has to do with a spiritual energy, the High Priestess. There could be a lot of spiritual things going on around you. And then you have the Knight of Pentacles as well. So there could be something to do with two different women and like a slow building experience related to that you're kind of like turning down in terms of like competition, Taurus. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if there's so there's just so many things popping into my head, but that's basically what it is. Let's clarify why the Six of Cups is your challenge. Page of Cups, Page of Wands. This definitely has to do with immature. This has to do with like childhood trauma, or Seven of Swords. So this could have to do with like immature scheming. This could have to do with immature scheming. This can have to do with uh like immature games being played in some sort of way. This could also have to do with like just be careful around, like I feel like the universe, maybe the universe is like driving you out of a certain location because it's not freaking secure. Okay. But you're like, so, and I'm not saying like it's awful, right? I'm predicting like good things, but it's just like I don't think you're gonna be comfortable where you are anymore. All right, so that's the energy for Taurus. Now let's move on to Gemini. All right, so what energy does Gemini need more of for the month of May? What energy does Gemini need more of for the month of May 2025? Empowerment, improvement, nurture, security, sacred geometry. I always sucked at maths, but I was good at geometry. Reveal the mystery, surrender, logic, and catalyst. So the first energy coming out is improvement and empowerment. So I feel like anything that you can do to basically empower your own self at this time. You also have nurture. So things that you can do to nurture others and empower other people is very good at this time. Um, Security as well. So focusing on your own foundations. This may be some sort of basic training and some sort of thing that I feel you need to do intuitively. Like you need to improve your relationship with your own level of empowerment in the world. So I feel like there's some sort of like Gemini is the dual mind, so I feel like there's something coming up about um, having to like logically surrender. The energy is logic and surrender and reveal the mystery. So there's clearly some sort of situation that I feel is out of your control. At the same time, if you admit that the situation is out of your control, but then you remember who you actually are, you'll be much more better equipped to go with the flow or like go with the energy that the universe is pulling you in. Some of you may feel uncomfortable because you feel the world is changing at such a rapid rate and like that the powers that be are like are going to like change your life in a certain way. But I feel like even if you have to realize that it's like you are the catalyst in this situation. You are the one you are at the cause, not the effect in some sort of situation. So on the one hand, it's like a mixed emotion where you have to release control logically and be like, okay, well, this is a waste of energy. There's no point in me obsessing and fighting over this obsession. At the same time, you have to realize that if you release control and you focus on empowerment, your own ability to be empowered within the situation that you're resisting, and if you really think about it, you'll be like, okay, I got this. I got this. I got this. Is kind of what I would say to that. Okay, so let's now go ahead and pull the energy for you and see what energy is coming through for Gemini for May 2025. Interesting energy going on here for you, Gemini. There certainly is a lot of travel. So your opportunity is the Eight of Wands. This has to do with speed, open communication, travel. I feel like this is an opportunity for you to be very open to life at this time and to also like physically travel. I feel like a lot of you need to travel here in May, or like you're being advised to like get loose, get moving. You also have the Tower in your challenge. So in your challenge, there's a certain foundation in your life that is most likely, some of you are being challenged to blow it up before it blows you up. A lot of you are being challenged to prepare for a tower moment in May 2025. A lot of you are better getting on board with that. That's what I kind of feel like it's this energy of like logically surrendering to the tower that you know is coming, but then realizing that you're actually empowered to deal with it, right? It's better to like embrace the ending. It's better to embrace the change than it is to stick around and basically like wait for yourself to get blown up in the situation, if that makes sense. So your overall general energy, Gemini, is the moon, the seven of swords, and also the seven of pentacles here when it comes to your overall general energy for May 2025. So there's some sort of subconscious thing going on. There could also be a shady situation with women and dogs going on. And like there's some sort of situation that in the beginning, there could be an element of time distortion to May 2025, I feel, going on for you. There's some sort of emotional hacking that I feel needs to go on at an intuitive level, Gemini. Make sure that you pay attention to your subconscious mind. Make sure that you are aware of the emotions that other people are trying to mess with within you. I feel like there's a situation where a lot of people are intentionally going to try to drain your emotions or to steal your emotions. So I would say like watch out for energy vampires in May 2025 for sure. There's definitely an element of energy vampires going on, Gemini. Absolutely. The Seven of Swords is also about using the swords so they can't be used against you. So if there's a shady situation going on in your reality, I feel like there's a certain change that you need to make in order to be sure that the swords don't be used against you. And some of you that like literally indicates like getting out of town and traveling so that you're not in the line of crossfire and whatever that you have going on. But be aware of your subconscious mind and what you've been planting into your subconscious mind at this time. Also be aware of misconduct by women and be aware of the potential of trying to mess with money. Your money, there could be someone trying to mess with your money at this time. So be aware of these things. In and you have two sevens in the moon. So that could be like female spiritual warfare. And what you don't see coming, you have the Three of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and also the Ace of Wands, and what you don't see coming. So this is all about, I feel like there's some sort of new collaborative, creative expression that you have going on, learning something new, and inspiration. This is all about acting on inspiration, creative inspiration, Gemini. And there may be some sort of like information that the universe, and what you don't see coming, there could also be people spying on you and taking your information. So you do have to watch, you have to be careful about that. I feel like in what you don't see coming, there's this element of you needing to up your own security because there's an element of spying. There's an element of spies stealing your work. And there's also an element of like inspiration to do it. So some of you here, it's all about gathering more information on a subject that you're passionate. So if you're passionate about a subject, absorb as much information about it. That's what you don't see coming here. But I feel for many of you, this is kind of about like, technology spying on you, AI spying on you, other people spying on you. And they're very passionate about doing so for some of you. So you do need to be aware of that. But it's almost like parasites, triggers, and fleas crawling. Like it's almost like go ahead. You know what I mean? Like go ahead and like for some of you there's an aspect of like go ahead and let them do it and then adjust from there and change your foundation from there or speak about it before they can be used against you. Because like something I've been pissed about is just like sitting on all this information I've been gathering, knowing that people are like kind of messing with it. And like I'm not concerned that people are stealing my ideas. I'm concerned that they don't have an idea on of their own. It's like a Nikola Tesla quote, but I feel like it's definitely some stuff like that. And it's almost like you got to beat someone to the punch here. There's an element of beating someone to the punch, acting on something before they act on it against you. Advice, you have the Strength card, the King of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like this is about having the strength to make a decision to act on something new. This is also about improving physical health. But it's interesting because in your advice, it's underneath the Ace of Wands in a way you don't see coming, but it's facing the opposite direction into your future. There is an element, you know what, Gemini, I just want to say that there's this, in terms of like the global scale and things that are going on for all of us, there is this plan to basically shift us 3 or more or less years into the past. So some of you may be finding yourself in a repeat situation that you just need to you need to like move on it, and you need to be mentally tough at this time. I feel like the King of Swords and the Strength card is all about making a decision and then sticking with it no matter how difficult it may be. The Strength card is also about taming down your ego, merging with your higher self, finding a balance, and it's about also as you deal with the situation, it's I feel like there's this feeling of energetic manipulation that's is just kind of annoying. There's nothing here that really spells disaster, although you have the Tower in your challenge. There's nothing that spells like complete disaster. It's almost like small annoying things that are eventually going to add up to try to drive you crazy. Some of you are being targeted by groups that are intentionally trying to drive you crazy. And so you have to be aware of it because 90% of transformation comes from your awareness. If you're aware of a situation, it kind of sheds a beam of consciousness and dissolves it. So hopefully this video is helping you do that with what you have going on. But I really feel like there's something about acting on what you know, and also there's an element here of if you try to aggressively overcome the situation, you will fail. If you try to be too soft and let things happen, you will fail. The Strength card is also about Leo energy, and it's about courage, and it's finding the middle point. Like this woman, if she was running away from the lion would just chase her. If she was trying to aggressively close the mouth of the lion, it would eat her. If she walks up to it as if she is Mother Teresa, Mother Mary, Billie Jean, Billie Jean, then the lion is just going to be like, oh, okay. So that's what I got going on for you, Gemini. So now let's go ahead and move on to Cancer. So this is going to be for the sign of Cancer for May 2025. What energy does Cancer need more of for May 2025? Return to source, improvement, open to life. But I wasn't really too focused, so what energy does the sign of Cancer need more of for May 2025? Breaking through barriers, soul family, meditation, and integration. Self-awareness. Higher purpose, intimacy, nostalgia. One more. Sacred geometry. It's all about things being in the right place. So you have breaking through barriers and soul family. So right now, I feel like it's important to understand that, your family goes beyond that just of your blood family. And a lot of us have soul contracts with so many people across the world. And particularly for you, Cancer, I feel like this is about soul groups and certain pre-birth agreements that may have been made in this lifetime. And it's about breaking through barriers in regards to that. You also have integration, which is about bringing two opposite things together in order to bring them into a state of cohesion, essentially, or to balance out your light and negative side instead of being polarized in some sort of way. And then you have meditation here. So perhaps a sense of calming relating to breaking through barriers with soulmate relationships. You also have nostalgia and sacred geometry. So perhaps stepping into the past, going back into the past to work something out. You have self-awareness as well. So I feel like there's there's some sort of situation that's calling you to be more self-aware. You also have intimacy and higher purpose. So that for some of you, this absolutely could have to do with your love life and the difficult themes that your love life is bringing up right now and how that's related to your higher purpose and your self-awareness. I feel like these are themes that you need to be aware of for May 2025. So let's also go ahead and pull the energy predictive. What energy is coming towards Cancer, zodiac sign of Cancer for May 2025? Let's see. Okay. What the hell? This looks intense, Cancer. Not gonna lie. Click off now if you don't want to hear these. Okay, opportunity and challenge. It looks very intense, Cancer. I'm predicting there's at least one relationship that is on the ropes that is going to completely end for you in what you don't see coming in May 2025. It looks like you're dealing with a potential friend group or situation where you feel betrayed or someone feels betrayed. There's likely to be a foolish action by the end of the month that could lead to a complete ending. However, for you, it also will lead to certain level of integration. So before we get there, your opportunity is the Page of Swords. This is about getting more information. The Page of Swords is the brainiac of the tarot. We could liken her to a spy or getting more information. So your opportunity is to get more information. Your opportunity may be also to realize that you are being watched. Some of you, there's an opportunity for you to realize like every move is just being surveyed. Trust me, I know, and it's annoying. You have the Two of Pentacles as your challenge. This has to do with juggling. This has to do with your challenge. Maybe should I stay or should I go? It's like in Stranger Things. The house is being haunted. Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? So should you stay or should you go? And this is also about like juggling. You may have multiple career things going on. You may be iffy about a situation. You may be mentally I feel like there's like a struggle between your heart and mind right now. Like your heart may be saying yes and your mind is saying fuck, screw this. And then your heart is saying no, must rise above this. And then your mind is saying I will kill you. And then your heart is saying I love you. And this can have to do with a significant relationship that you have going on. Your overall general energy is the Nine of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the Fool. So for a lot of you, this is about potential betrayal in a third party situation and foolish behavior, or it's some sort of ending relating to a group that's trying to plot against you, or vice versa, that there could be potentially a new beginning by the end of the month that comes out of this. There's a completely new beginning. But there's also a level of foolishness that I feel is happening in regards to your situation for May 2025. For some of you, this may be you. So for some of you, if you're plotting something, then you may want to check yourself before you wreck yourself. But for others of you, this is certainly to do with a third party situation that other people are plotting. And there is, as the energy reads for May 2025, it seems like there's some sort of foolish backstabbing. There's some sort of foolish betrayal. There could be a group of immature people that want to see you stabbed in the back. Now, for some of you, there's this thing about like, do I stoop to the level or do I just rise above it? You know what I mean? Now, So in especially like it may have been a rough start to May, but I feel like maybe it gets better, or maybe it's either you get better or you remain foolish though. So I, and then you have it in what you don't see coming, you have the Death card, the Two of Cups in reverse, and the Ten of Swords. And this is in what you don't see coming. So please be careful of any sort of third party group. This could be like people that you trust that don't have good intentions for you, getting more information on you. This could even be people that are like on your side, but then are like the challenges they may like switch up on you. Your challenge may be that people are debating on switching up on you or vice versa. And then what you don't see coming, I'm sorry to say, but there's definitely a relationship that's going to end. There's a relationship in your life that's going to transform and end. I don't like to predict things like this, but when you see the Ten of Swords and the Death card next to each other, that's a complete ending spiritually and potentially even like on the physical level, whether it's someone completely leaving your life, etc. So be careful who you're around. You know, some of you here, there's a foolish situation where maybe like you are. I feel like there's a situation where maybe it's like trusting the wrong people or like rejecting a situation that would have actually had your back and then like going with people who are just like rats. Discernment is important, and that's really what this is about, discernment. I do think things are going to be revealed to you though. I think that there's going to be things that are revealed to you about there will be clarity, but I mean, look at this. As the death card falls on my computer. So maybe this is there's some sort of relationship that looks like it's completely ending and it doesn't seem good, you know. This seems like bad, like the Two of Cups in reverse is like you end on a bad note. But do you understand that sometimes ending things on a bad note is actually like healing though? You know, like it's not always good to end things like it's not good to end things on like it's good to open your heart, but if you're being plotted against, if you're being utterly disrespected, for you to be like I love you now, bye. I don't know. Does that really does that it's like you can't be spiritually like fake, but you have to keep an open heart, but if you try to be too nice, it's like not gonna go good or something. And then in what you don't, in your advice, you have the World card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Nine of Cups, and this is in your advice. So this is about a cycle. This can be like someone. I'm sorry, but this is about like a relationship ends, and you're like, finally, fine. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that person to die. And I'm sorry, but and I'm not saying that any of you would like think that. But there seems to be some sort of integration here, magical integration about a cycle that's coming to an end. So you tell me. So perhaps there is a weight off of your shoulders, Cancer, in May 2025, but your challenge is that maybe the emotions kick in and you feel iffy about it. There's no clear-cut emotion. But I'm telling you that there's absolutely a chance for spiritual integration, jackpot frequencies, and a complete ending. So it's like if someone is trying to like harm you severely and destroy your life and they have something happen to them, are you supposed to feel bad about that? Is it okay for me to not care about you if you don't care about me? Or shout out, you know, quote, Instagram video short. You don't care for the movie. Okay, let's keep going. So that's for Cancer. It kind of seems like there could be some, it's like severe spiritual warfare. And now we're going to take a short intermission. All right, so let's keep going and let's move on to the sign of Leo now. So for Leo, let's go ahead and see what energy you need more of in the month of May 2025. What energy does Leo need more of in May 2025? Heritage. Okay, so focusing on ancestral healing for some of you is going to be big. Sacred geometry, meditation, clearing out the cobwebs of the mind, particularly so your ancestor guides can come through, I feel. They've been trying to reach you. Speak from the heart, non-attachment. Yeah, there's something you need to say to someone. Healing, spiritual guidance, self-awareness. So yeah, Leo, there's definitely a lot of ancestral stuff that's going on for you at this time. I feel like you want to make sure that you're not repeating patterns, destructive patterns of your ancestors. You want to make sure that you take in the gifts of your ancestral lines and that you discard the dysfunctional patterns, okay? Because we all incarnated into our specific family lines for specific reasons. You have healing and heritage. You also have spiritual guides. So I feel like you have a lot of ancestor guides that are trying to contact you at this time in May. You have self-awareness as well. So this is all about becoming more self-aware of how your patterns are not just rooted in your childhood, or they're not just rooted in, your patterns, they're rooted in your family line. So there's something here about, speak from the heart and non-attachment. So I do feel like there's like a family member that some of you need to maybe release, or you maybe need to have a conversation and speak from the heart. There's something maybe that you've been avoiding saying to this person, to this family member, to this friend that you consider family, even Leo. So there's definitely a non-attached, speak from the heart type of conversation that you need to have. And you have meditation as well. I think cleaning the cobwebs in that way. But sacred geometry is all about being in the right place as well. So if you're looking to be in the right place, make sure you book an astrocartography reading with me, Leo. That will tell you all about sacred geometry. That's what it is. So maybe changing your location, maybe trying to get out of certain areas where your family issues are. Something I would suggest is like trying to drink water from the place of your ancestors, like wherever your family comes from. Try to get water, go there and drink water, or get it shipped to you or something like that. But let's go ahead now, Leo, and do the reading for you. So what is coming your way for the month of May 2025, Leo? So there's definitely something coming up about your long-term plans and your legacy and questioning it at this time. Potentially dealing with a burdensome situation for some of you and what you don't see coming. Hold on. Or like fighting off a burden. All right. So, in your overall general energy, Leo, you have the 10 of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles, and also the Ace of Pentacles. In your opportunity, you have the Page of Pentacles. So it's an earthy month for you. This could be about changing your long-term business goals or your financial things that you have going on. I feel like your legacy is in question, and it's time to basically do two things at the same time, or also start something completely new. I feel like this is you calling your legacy into question. This could have to do with your heritage in some sort of way. For a lot of you, kind of questioning the values of it or something like that. So the 10 of Pentacles to the 2 of Pentacles. For some of you, this could simply be about working two jobs. This could be about getting a second job or really integrating a new part of your career that you want to be part of your legacy. For me, that would be more about like shifting from just doing tarot to like astrology and astrocartography. So something along those lines. In your opportunity, you do have the page of Pentacles, which is all about hard work, doing the dirty work, not cutting any corners, and being willing to be some sort of apprentice or to have some sort of apprentice in your life. So I feel like whatever you got, because there is a burdensome zero-sum game situation and what you don't see coming. So I feel like the way to get your mind off of that is to just focus on what you can control, particularly on a practical level. This is about taking care of yourself on a physical level. This is also about doing the dirty work and the hard work and really just like placing your mind on what's in front of you and what you can control rather than what's out of your control. Because in your challenge, you have the Hanged Man and the Queen of Pentacles. So there could be some sort of enlightening experience relating to your finances or money or an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn female. There could be some sort of moment of enlightenment that's challenging for you to witness here. There could be some sort of earthy woman that you have a realization about in some sort of way that then changes the way you want to move forward. It could be a family member for you. In what you don't see coming, you have the Seven of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and also the Five of Swords. So on the one hand, I feel like this is about defending yourself from some sort of burdensome attack or some sort of burdensome aggression, or, this is about like being burdened by some sort of extremely dangerous or zero-sum game situation. And this isn't what you don't see coming. So there may be some sort of burden when it comes to aggressiveness, zero-sum games. The Five of Swords is kind of the one of the nastiest frequencies in the tarot in terms of like a personal attack. So there may be a burdensome situation with that. This can also be, you have the Seven of Wands, which is about defending yourself, defending what's worth defending. But I feel like this is also about like what is worth defending right now. Like for some of you, this is about defending against an attack. For others of you, this is about like a moment of like release and being like, maybe there's some part of your life that is being targeted by the universe because it is preventing the expansion of your life and the universe at large. And for some of you, this has to do with like money and career. For most of you, I want to say that, but this is definitely about like being wary of zero-sum games, because the Page of Wands and the Ace of the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles is all about like providing value to people in just kind of like an honest way that like is just getting back to basics, like reminding yourself of why you started something, getting back to your roots. You have that sacred geometry because I don't know. I feel like they're like it's like you're still keeping your legacy intact, but there just needs to be like a reassessing of priorities. Some of you may feel burdened by some sort of aggression in your life, though. Okay, so your advice is the Eight of Swords, the Hierophant, and also the Eight of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Eight of Swords. So this is some sort of like feeling of stuckness when it comes to official things and also hard work and where your productivity lies. So some of you here is to like look at your feelings of powerness as it relates to the government or institutions in some sort of way. Like this is your advice. This may be what you want to figure out. Do I want to be part of this or not? Okay, and then you have the Eight of Pentacles here, which is about productivity and hard work and things like that. So in terms of your advice, I feel like for some of you, this is a relationship that you're in terms of marriage. It's like you got to work through some sort of kinks before you get married. Pun intended, pun not intended. Um, no, but like so there's some sort of like officialton's whispering him again. Like there's some sort of official situation potentially related to tradition, orthodoxy, marriage, institutions, churches that spirit is calling you to look at and to work through your own stuckness, to realize maybe you're not as stuck as you think you are. These swords are not tied around this person, but they can easily untie themselves from the situation. And once again, there's this element of productivity regarding the situation. Like you're not as stuck as you think that you are. So whether it's you're behind on your taxes, whether it's that you feel like a little bit confused what to do financially or even within a relationship, just put one foot in front of the other. But there may be some sort of relational moment of surrender or enlightenment, particularly related to an earth sign or your own money, especially if you're a female Leo, that you need to look at here. Okay, so just be aware of that. Let's clarify why the Ten of Wands is in what you don't see coming as the centerpiece to this reading. The King of Pentacles could be something unethical related to money, adventure, stardom that you don't like. No. Yeah, like, it's interesting that the Queen of Pentacles is in your challenge and the King of Pentacles is clarifying the Ten of Wands. You also have the Knight of Wands, the Eight, the Star, and also the Two of Swords here. So there could be some sort of quest that there could be some sort of like opportunity that you feel like I don't want anything to do with this. And maybe for some of you that's the right decision. For others of you want to reconsider that. Let's clarify why the Eight of Pentacles is in your advice. Page of Swords, Six of Pentacles, King of Swords. So this is about getting more information and balance and having a stern mind in your advice. So I feel like this is about you getting more information. Where am I going to really commit myself? Because remember, it's all about like getting to like the Two of Pentacles, and you have the Six of Pentacles in your advice, kind of balancing out your work life, maybe working working on two different problems at the same time. But then you have the Page of Swords and the King of Swords in your advice related to the Eight of Pentacles. So I feel like that's all about getting more information and then you acting on the information that you have rather than sitting on the information that you have, and potentially acting on information to let go of something or to not do something or do it. So with that being said, I hope that helped you, Leo, for May 2025. So now let's move on to the sign of Virgo for May 2025. All right, so what energy does Virgo need more of for May 2025? Joy. Joy, play, diversity, comfort. Yeah, I feel like it's about having fun, like get fun, trying to find a way to have fun again and to not be so judgmental. You also have spiritual guides, surrender, healing, empowerment, intimacy, and immunity. Yeah, I feel like you're like, I feel like this is all about being comfortable with your own expansion path and finding joy in the difficulty and like having fun with it, rolling with the punches rather than taking it so seriously. Joy and play. So like learning to like activate your creative center is very important for you. And then becoming comfortable with diversity as well. Like comfort and diversity. This is all about like non-traditional things, Virgo. So I feel like you gotta like open up your mind and your heart and your soul to something that deep down you are comfortable with. I feel like maybe there's a mental block though. That's really what it is. There's something that brings you natural joy. There's something that brings you a natural sense of play. That for some sort of reason life has gotten really serious at the moment or recently, and I feel like it's time to get back to that natural ease and that natural fun. Like they say like whoever had the most fun won type of thing. So make sure that you're having as much fun as possible. But this is also about like becoming comfortable with diversity. Diversity indicates like people of different racial, sexual, and any sort of barrier that you could think of that normally divides people. Racial, sexual, language barriers, locational barriers, ways of life, philosophies. I feel like this is about understanding that variability is the world's most fundamental quality, and there's nothing you can do to change that. And so it's like if you accept people the way that they are, they're more likely to accept you the way that you are. And I feel like there is this element of clearing up the mirror of reality that's going on in your life and having fun with it as well. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and pull the energy for Virgo. What energy is coming your way, Virgo, for May 2025? Hold on. What energy is coming Virgo's way for May 2025? The High Priestess, the Knight of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely like a difficult, heartbreaking situation that you're moving through, which is why Spirit's like advising you to like try to keep it as light as possible. Your opportunity here is the Three of Swords to move through a heartbreaking situation, Virgo, in some sort of way. There could have been a recent loss that you're trying to overcome. There could have been like some sort of deep heartbreaking experience that you're meant to like go into, and then to renew yourself with joy, comfort, diversity, and play to overcome this heartbreaking experience. Your challenge is the Seven of Swords. For some of you here, this is about understanding that there are people kind of plotting against you at this time in some sort of way for whatever reason. This also could have to do with people that you were like once on the same team of, and now you like have to switch up for some reason or something like that, I feel. Or like there's a change to your allegiances, there's a change to your alliances, I feel is like happening for you in May 2025. And so this is difficult to navigate this very tricky situation. And it's heartbreaking either way that you do it, because I feel like there is a frequency of like someone has to get left out in the cold here. Mhm. And for some of you, it's like this energy of like, who it is that you have to kind of put up a wall to, that you maybe you felt like it wasn't meant to be this way, like this wasn't meant to be this way, like there is a feeling of it wasn't meant to be this way. So that's why you got to keep it light, diversity, play, joy, comfort, focus on feeling better now in this moment. I feel is big for you. Your opportunity is like, excuse me, your overall general energy is the High Priestess, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles here. So for some of you, this is about using your intuition to work back to repair rupture in a relationship, or to like slowly count on something coming back alive that right now is just like out of order in your life. This could be someone that you feels left out in the cold by you, or vice versa. I feel like this is about slowly building yourself back up again after heartbreak. But honestly, as May goes on, this may continue. It may feel like things are still out of place for May. But there is an opportunity for you to kind of deal with it in the way that only you know you can. Yeah, and I'll explain that when we get into the advice. But yeah, like there is some sort of spiritual warfare at play, and it's a slow burning kind of thing. This may be someone that you have love for, that you have, it's like you cannot be with them, or something like that. It's there's someone suffering, and sometimes they say like no matter how much you try to help someone, um they still will suffer because it's their reality. You know, so there is a situation, Virgo, of like some sort of person, whether it's you or another person, being left out in the cold and you wanting to like, all right, well, like let's slowly build out of this situation, but it's not happening anytime soon at all. So you're just kind of like, you know. There's also like an element though that's kind of scary here of like a slow deterioration. So I feel the important thing is for you to have an honest mind and to have like an honesty and integrity at this time, because I feel like the universe's expansion path is saying that your challenge is that you may try to wiggle your way out of this one. You may try to allow people to wiggle their way out of this one, but I don't think the universe is really going to support that. I think the universe is going to support honesty. And if you made a mistake, be willing to admit it and let people admit mistakes. Be open to forgiveness at this time, but maybe not too soon. Because there's a diverging of paths here, you know, and in what you don't see coming, you have the Hermit, which is Virgo, the Knight of Swords, which is kind of like people sneaking up behind your back, and then you have the Eight of Cups walking in the other way. So I feel like for some of you, there could be a situation that like some people are going to try to attack you from behind, and then other people are just going to say, that's not, I'm out bouncing. But either way, you kind of feel this. You feel like like on the one hand, there's people attacking you. On the other hand, there's people running away from defending you. So with that in consideration, then the Seven of Swords in your challenge is maybe you do, for some of you, you do have to do something. You cannot, if you just kind of stay where you are, it's not going to be good. You're going to get somehow blindsided or something. And this could even be like, I feel like this is the energy of uh like people in the same gang getting split up, or like people in the same tribe being forced to choose sides that somehow negatively affects you or them. For some of you, it's not going to be you, but for most of you, or for a lot of you, it will be. So that's why you have this Three of Swords as an opportunity where it's just like sometimes you must willingly let the universe absolutely obliterate you. Now, I'm not saying that you just do that. There is something you can do, but I'm just saying that if you try to like be, if you, I think that if you try to match this, you know it's not going to be good. So sometimes it's better to surrender when you're weaker to be able to fight another day in the future. But at the same time, I feel like there's just a heartbreaking situation for most of you. Now, in your advice, you have the King of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Nine of Wands. There's some sort of mental decision in order to spiritually integrate yourself about unfinished business. The Nine of Wands has to do with someone that's a little bit injured. They're recovering from an injury. And it has to do with, for me, it's the card of unfinished business. So the advice is that you do have unfinished business with potentially something that you walked out on or walked away from or treated badly that's now come back as karma. Your advice as well is that I think that you could even be being like monitored at this time. This is not a very easy reading to navigate. So I do feel like being open to like why people feel the way that they do is the way out of this. I think trying to invalidate someone's opinion, trying to completely obliterate or invalidate someone for leaving you out in the cold or attacking you is not the way to do it. If someone's attacking you, try to understand why are they attacking me? If someone is deserting you, why are they abandoning me? Find the part of yourself that attacks people. Find the part of yourself that deserts people. This reality is a mirror hologram. Now, that may be the most painful thing to admit, but it is the only way. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's move on to Libra. That was rough. All right. What energy does Libra need more of? Make sure this is not overheating. Oh, good. All right. What energy does Libra? Let's actually try to clean this a little bit. Uh, nah, we're straight. All right. What energy does Libra need more of for May 2025? Creativity. Self-trust, healing. Yeah, allow yourself to be creative at this time, Libra, in a way that like just naturally flows out of you. Some sort of flow-based activity, I feel is going to be really important for you. You also have optimism and truth, and you have gratitude as well. So yeah, I feel like there's a situation that is like kind of just like going to naturally reveal itself in your reality, but it's time for you to like have gratitude that the truth is coming out. That's what the universe is saying. Like I think that you can handle it. As a Libra, you're great at seeing things, from two different sides, seeing both points of view. So when the truth does come out, this month for you, I feel like the universe is saying this is what you need more of. Like you should celebrate truth. You should celebrate truth and then move with it rather than move against it, rather than like trying to swim up. I'm getting a visual of like some of you have been being slowly carried by this river, and like you've been still swimming like upstream, and like you've still been able to swim upstream, and you may still actually be able to swim upstream, but it's probably more beneficial for you to start flowing with the river, because you know that will lead to truth and creativity and gratitude, optimism and creativity and healing. Because to heal is to experience the opposite. So the opposite of restriction is freedom. The opposite of um, the night is day. So this is about, in order to heal is to experience the opposite. So what have you felt like you've known that you've wanted to do something for a long time, but what do you feel guided to actually creatively now do? What do you feel grateful for the universe is trying to tell you, that you've been like, I know this, the truth has been coming out, but now it's here, so let's just roll with it, that type of thing. So let's go ahead and do this energy for you, Libra. This is your reading for May 2025. What energy is coming towards Libra? You have optimism, the Three of Wands popping out. There is a sense of like, okay, passion, Queen of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, this is about your own authenticity, and like I think there's some sort of thing about you trusting yourself to create something that will lead to healing regardless of the outcome of it. I think that like, if you're living your life from a productive or like some sort of thing that you want to do based on like how it's received by other people, I think you're going in the wrong way this month. I think that you should create something, Libra, that like really feels good to you regardless of how it's like perceived. You know what I mean? That's what I get so far. Oh, but there's definitely, yeah, the truth is about to come out, but uh there's four sides to every story. Yeah. There's four sides to every story, basically. And so your opportunity is actually the Page of Pentacles. This is about just getting lost in your own your own world, just getting lost in the details of something. There may be some sort of new thing that you have to pick up and like learn the basics of it. Or this is something to do with an apprentice, hiring an apprentice for some of you. Like this is the moment where you are like, okay, I'm gonna like this is my apprentice. Or for some of you, this is about you just putting in hard work. The Page of Pentacles is about hard work. So maybe just putting in hard work is gonna help you distract yourself or not distract, but like create something. In your overall general energy, you have the Three of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. So there's optimism about potentially a female fire sign in your life that leads to good investment, good fortune for you. Okay, so there's some sort of optimism about this in your reality. Um, there could be, I feel like this is about not giving a crap about what other people think about you. The Queen of Wands, that's what she is. So I feel like there's this element of you creating something and letting the chips fall where they may and just being happy with your own level of authenticity rather than how it's received by other people, because in what you don't see coming there may be a certain level of karma attached to what you want to create. Like there may be a lot of resistance to what it is that you want to create or what it is that you want to do. Now, a lot of you, this could be a great month in terms of your own like sex life if you have a partner or whatever. I feel like it actually is like a moment where you've been like waiting to like just be yourself in that regard, Libra. I do feel that. But there's also some sort of thing about abundance will always follow your passion. So it's like the overall general energy that's happening for you, Libra, in May 2025 is like if you do something just for the money, I feel it may not work as well as you thought. If you do something because there's nothing else you would rather do, then that's where it's going to pay off big time for you. And probably in ways that you don't even know, because money is not the only form of abundance, right? The definition of abundance I like is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. So I feel like that's what's going to keep happening. The universe is going to keep giving you things, but in what you don't see coming, there's some sort of stagnation that you're going to have to let go of here. For some of you, people are just getting blasted up. This is a galactic warfare. It's deeper than that, and so I know with that, but yeah, because in what you don't see coming, you have the Eight of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Moon card here. So there's some sort of unknown stuckness that maybe bothering you at this time, and that's why it's kind of like you just need to focus on creativity, truth, gratitude, optimism, because you can't know everything. There's certainly something that you don't know about though that's going to bother you though. Like there's some sort of thing that I just get like there's a really spooky situation of entrapment and potential like darkness that you know that you're not going to really be able to know about it. Like it's off limits, like there's some sort of knowledge that but you're not supposed to know everything. So I kind of feel like there's a frequency of just focus on what you can control. Let those POWs go, but like also just you're not in control of them. So it's tough, right? Um, your challenge is the Two of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. So this is about karma in relationship. This is about giving and receiving in a relationship. This is about giving a gift and receiving a gift. There may be some sort of exchange in a relationship that you feel uncomfortable about. There may be some sort of compromise that you now have to deal with, whether it's from your work or there's definitely like a compromise, like a deal, a compromise that you're going to have to make that maybe feels off to you, but like spirit is telling you that it actually is the highest path or it's what is needed to be happening right now, some sort of relational compromise. And it may look something like, okay, well, if I have to be able to do this in order to heal. So therefore, like you're gonna be more free now too. Or like so for some of you, it looks like freedom within the confines of relationship, and that just kind of drives you crazy. But at the end of the day, that's actually the most healing thing. But for some of you, it's much deeper than that. And then in your advice, you have the Temperance card, the Seven of Wands, and also the Knight of Pentacles here when it comes to your advice from Spirit. So, everything in moderation, there's certainly something that's worth defending here. And I feel like it's your long-term plan, your long-term investments. But I feel like in this case, it needs to be something where, you're slowly defending yourself. You're slowly building balance to yourself because there's certainly in what you don't see coming a darkness, a feeling of stuckness, a feeling of having to recover after being stuck or after being in a dark space. So let's clarify why the the Seven of Wands is in your advice. Yeah, this could be about defending your family or your soul family. There could also be an awakening to your true soul family because sometimes soul family members start off as enemies. I've been experiencing that where it's like recently, because like part of we all have different spiritual abilities, but like for me, it's like I will see a version of someone that I'm like having issues with, and like people that I've had issues with in the past, and like people I have not even met yet in person, but I just know that like I know when their spirit guides are trying to like be like, all right, like we're not supposed to be beef, we're not supposed to be at odds, and they've been coming to like there's been a shift where I've known people have like had it out for me, and then like recently their spirit guides are like showing up to be like, no, like we're here, like so it's like this energy of compromise in relationships and like slowly healing, like slowly lowering your defenses to someone because you are meant to navigate the like because it's bigger than you, it's bigger than me. Like we are one humanity at the end of the day. We are one family. If we're on planet Earth, we are one. And there are forces that like try to make us think that we're not. So that's why I just think it's about being patient, allowing yourself to be yourself and allowing other people to be themselves too. But don't get too the truth is coming out basically, right? So that when the truth even for me, like it's like when the truth does come out, like sometimes you paint people as like villains because they're like on not on your side, but deep down they're not, but they thought you were and you're not, or you are and they are. So it's like, oh, so it just is like, yeah. So that's what I got for you, Leo. A mixed bag of emotions, you know what I mean? So what did we just do? We did Leo, Virgo, and Libra. Let me take a sip of water real quick. Hold up. All right, let's move on to Scorpio now. So let's go ahead and pull the energy. What Scorpio needs more of? What energy does Scorpio need more of for May 2025? Let's go ahead and see. What energy does Scorpio need more of? Festivity. Don't be afraid to party a little bit, Scorpio. Logic. Logical festivity and non-attachment. And confidence. All right, so some of you need to let loose a little bit in and breaking through barriers. All right. So, and relationships. So, and higher purpose. So what I intuitively sense, Scorpio, is like a lot of you here, the first card that came out for you that you need more of in May is festivity. And then you need logic and non-attachment. So I feel like there needs to be some sort of situation where you're allowed to like let loose or you're allowed to exercise a part of you but it may need to be in like some sort of like logical manner where it's like maybe you and your partner are like, okay, we're gonna go do this one crazy thing like once a month, or like, okay, like I need to go to like a party, like even with me and my girlfriend, she's like I don't like to go to things, but she's like, you gotta come to like this festival with me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll do that, like to like logically have festivity, even though I wouldn't normally do it for myself, but because you take the person as part of you, you do it. And also non-attachment. Like maybe for me, it's like I'll go to it and I'll actually like enjoy it or something like that. And it's like confidence in relationships. So for those of you that are in a relationship, Scorpio, I feel like there's some sort of like more like the universe is telling you that in order to break through barriers within your relationship, you have to have confidence in the solidity of the relationship and the fact that like we can still live and let each other live within the relationship. And you also have higher purpose here. So if I'm being honest with you, I feel like some of you Scorpios here are not meant to let go of a relationship, but there needs to be some sort of like sense of festivity and fun being brought back into the relationship and a certain level of non-attachment that actually ironically increases the actual attachment of the relationship. I know that sounds ironic, but it's and you also have breaking through barriers and higher purpose and confidence in relationships. So I think like human relationships are changing right now. And I feel like that's the frequency of like kind of mapping that out in your head. How is this going to work out logically? But there may be a certain level of logic that you need to do to like actually implement this. But you do need festivity. So have some fun, Scorpio. Don't be afraid to have some non-attached fun and maybe not be so like seriously isolated, especially if you're single, but even for those ones in a relationship, just make sure that you're open to something else, or like make sure that you're open to breaking through barriers, relationships, confidence, non-attachment, and festivity and logic. All right. So now let's go ahead and pull the energy, and see what's coming your way in May 2025. What is coming Scorpio's way in May 2025? Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Hold on. I'm gonna put this back in the deck, but you did have the Queen of Cups in reverse and also the Hierophant. So some of you may be like proposed to, and you may be like, the answer is no. Sorry. Sorry, Johnny. Let's keep going. For some of you may be uncomfortable in some sort of traditional style of relationship. Let's see, what energy is coming Scorpio's way in May 2025? Two of Wands, Seven of Swords, King of Swords. Really? I feel like what energy is coming towards Scorpio in May 2025? Ah, okay. So, it's an interesting energy that you have going on here, Scorpio. There's definitely some sort of like karma or like some sort of up in the air karmic situation that's going to come to an end for you that I feel like is going to open things up in a major way. Your challenge is the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is all about dreamy, lovey romance. So there can be some sort of courtship. It's interesting that I got the energy of like committing to like a deep, deep, deep kind of like marriage and like difficulties with that, like the frequency of juggling it. I don't really know if I want to take that next step if you are in a relationship. You have the Four of Pentacles as your opportunity, which is about solidity. And I feel like there is this element of relationships breaking through barriers within the confines of a solid relationship. Sometimes giving up control gives you more control of the relationship or of the agreement that you have with someone in some sort of way. I just feel that, not to say that there won't be difficulties, because there could be some sort of like someone has defensiveness up towards a potential third party situation. But it's interesting. Like your overall general energy is kind of sketchy, if I'm being honest with you. It's the Two of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and also the King of Swords in reverse. So I see someone around you being extremely indecisive or uncomfortable by the end of the month. You have two options about something. You have the whole world in the palm of your hands and a risky decision ahead of you. You have a safer option behind you, fastened by this little thing here. And the Two of Wands for me is the card of it's a splitting, especially when it comes to relationships. The number two has to do with relationships. So I feel for some of you, you feel maybe you're being somehow schemed on, or you're being somehow manipulated mentally if you were to choose the safe option, because as you could see, you have the whole world in the palm of your hands, and then you have the secure option, but then the Seven of Swords from the King of Swords in reverse is walking into that. So I feel like maybe there's some sort of level of tradition and like masculine or even feminine, like, no, like this is how it is type of thing, that like if you settle for that, it's going to potentially end in a complete ending. So I feel like someone maybe needs to get more flexible here, and someone needs to be less attached, because I feel like if someone stays as attached as they are to the situation, then it's gonna lead to either you or the other person wanting more freedom. Whereas there can be an agreement made where there's freedom within the confines of the relationship if someone would just take their, stick out of their ass. And then but as the energy reads now, there could be potential some sort of ending, because in what you don't see coming, you have the Two of Pentacles, you have the Justice card, and you have the Ten of Swords. So this is some sort of like karma for some sort of like iffy situation that you've been juggling, and potentially something comes to an end, especially with someone trying to control you or your decisions, or trying to shame you or something, because the Ten of Swords is in what you don't see coming. The Ten of Swords is below the King of Swords in reverse. So I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone who's trying to be like, no, or like you must do this, or like something, and this could be anyone. This can be an aspect of your own mind. This doesn't have to be an external person. It can be, use your intuition. I feel like if the level of attachment stays present, then there's going to be a complete ending with it. If someone has a change of perspective and loosens up and allows you to be yourself and you allow them to be themselves, then you both have the whole world, even though it feels foreign. Like I said, your challenge is the Knight of Cups. So this is probably romantic, relating to idealism and idealistic situations. The Two of Pentacles is like, I don't know if this is a karmic situation or a soulmate type of thing, or I don't know if this is going to work out long term, unless you call the play like a audible. You know what I mean? Uh, play that. So then in your advice, you have the Ace of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and also the Three of Cups. So this is about truth and clarity, defensiveness, and also once again, festivity, friends, networking, groups, parties, third, like three ways. So like yeah, like some of you here, there could be a defensive situation to like opening up and being a little bit more open to life and non-attachment, confidence within your relationship, socializing. There could be an issue like where one party is trying to control the other person and try to like not make them socialize. Or this can be even deeper, and some of you are like, I want to have a threesome, and the other person's like, I don't want to have a threesome, and it kind of puts you at odds. But like maybe There's some sort of truth about that and the advice that you need to figure out. And I don't think that I think that either way, it's like there's a risky option, there's a safe option. I think if you choose the safe option, there is down the road, potentially towards the end of the month, a complete ending or a complete shift in perspective. Or and I'm not even saying that there, in this situation, I don't feel like there needs to be a compromise. I just feel like someone needs to take their stick out of their ass. You know what? We're gonna leave it at that, Scorpio. Hope you have a great May. I don't want to, but I will if I have to. Okay. Thank you, Scorpios. So now we're gonna move on to Sagittarius, not Sagittarial. Guess what? When I pee in a urinal, urinal. Okay. You know what? I've just been tripping out lately because like the whole English language is a bunch of spells, and it's like everything that I do is like some sort of weird thing. It's like some sort of like it's like everything is a code. Everything means something in the Matrix. All right. So next time you're a guy, do you want to be an owl? Pee in the urinal. You're in owl. Pee in the toilet. Pee in the toilet. Oh. Okay, let's do this for Sagittarius. What spiritual guide? What energy to what energy does Sagittarius need more of? What energy? What no? What energy does Sagittarius need more of in May? Truth. You can't spell the word truth without HURT. Hurt. The truth hurts. Calling. Improvement. Confident. Transcendence. Beginnings. Non-attachment. Positive intention. Festivity. I feel like this is about initiating yeah, revealing the mystery. This is about doing something that you know the universe has been begging you to do. Like not even like telling you, but it's like literally like pounding on your door like you got to do this, and it's about doing it without being attached to the results before the universe keeps like just absolutely like putting it in your face type of thing. So you have truth and calling, right? So this is your true call. Like, what is your true calling? What would you do if you weren't paid for it? What naturally draws your attention to you? Begin that. Whatever you would do if money weren't an object, that's what you got to start doing, right? Like do like the frequency that I get is doing something for its own sake, Sagittarius. You got to start doing something for its own sake. You also have reveal the mystery. So there's some sort of mystery that I feel like you know is your calling, you know it's a part of your calling, and maybe you just keep putting it on hold for whatever reason. You have improvement. So like one step in the right direction is actually improvement. And and you also have transcendence here. So I feel like there's some sort of thing about there's a situation that like isn't as like hard as you know what I get? You know what I've learned about being away from YouTube is like if you it's okay, this is like the idea where if you think working hard, getting up every day, working your ass off and like working towards your goal and like and putting in the work is hard, trust me, that's not as hard as like never working and and like just being free but then being trapped, right? Because this is something I've been themes I've been dealing with personally, but it's especially with Sagittarius because you're so freedom forward, Satan forward. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I'm sorry, you're not Satan forward at all. You're Pope forward. That's exactly the opposite of Satan. Um, no, but here's what I just feel like a channeled message for Sagittarius is that like if you think getting up and working hard towards your goal is the hardest thing to do, the actual hardest thing to do is to avoid it. It's actually way harder to do nothing and to resist your true calling and to resist beginning your true calling than it actually is to just get up and show up. Like I think what the universe is saying, the real improvement is going to come to you when you show up with zero insistence on a particular outcome and you just actually start showing up and doing it. Because I think the real thing that's going to get you in trouble, Sagittarius, and it's once again personal themes here. So I'm not speaking down to you. I'm speaking as gems that I've learned is that it's actually harder to resist the call than it is to take it. It's actually harder to basically, for the sake of your own freedom, like I don't want to be held down in this thing. But sometimes freedom, discipline leads to happiness and freedom. Like true freedom is found in action. And sometimes I feel like the Sagittariuses can be like, I'm so, and not all of you, but like, I'm so, like, true freedom is not having any responsibility. That's way harder than having a responsibility. True freedom is picking with your free will what you are responsible for, but not being responsible for anything is not true freedom. Anyway, let's go ahead and start this reading. Guess who's going to Japan soon? Oh my. Let's uh let's start this reading. Let's start this reading. What energy is coming towards Sagittarius for May 2025? Page of Cups. You don't know who you are. Hold on. Oh, it wanted to come out. Page of Cups is definitely chilling. Be open. Because okay, what energy is coming towards Sagittarius? Ah, beautiful energy here, Sagittarius. I think that you're going to start something that you were meant to start a long time ago. So there's almost like this rebirth energy. And if you don't restart it, some of you are going to reincarnate pretty soon. I'm sorry. This is no. No, no, no. But there is like yeah. There is like an element of pain though for like not having started this sooner. Yeah, and there's also an element of wax on, wax off. Like so um your overall general energy is very good. Your overall general energy is the Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Sun card. So this is all about, you know, positive emotions flowing through. I feel like there's going to be a real optimism in the air. I feel like this is you willing to explore yourself here, or I should show you the Page of Cups here. So the Page of Cups is someone who doesn't really know who they are. They are, in fact, a mystery unto themselves. And I believe that you had Reveal the Mystery here come out. Yeah, you have Reveal the Mystery. And then you have the energy you need more of, and then you have the Page of Cups. So there's certainly an aspect of yourself that you've been basically waiting to just like sternly go after it. It's very dreamy. There's a quest like there's a very like almost like you are in a video game. Something I've been realizing is that AI, the absolute infiltration of AI into this reality is not that it's actually revealing that we've been in an artificial reality this whole time. Like this is a dream form. It's not that the experience of physicality is not real. It's that it's more like science shows that solidity is not solid. So like when you're touching something, it's actually like if you go down to the micro level, it's not what we experience it as. So what I'm saying is like there's an element of you being like Neo right now, you being player one in the video game, where basically you make a decision to go after it. So your opportunity is the King of Swords here. And the King of Swords is someone who, they make a decision and they're a little bit cold about it. They don't let anything get in the way of it. Now your challenge is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And that may have to do with something in having to do with not being able to come and go as you please. There may be a lack of financial things going on as you work towards this dream, as you reveal this mystery, as you go towards it. There also, I sense, is an element of you basically retrieving a part of your soul that has been in the past. So this is about like healing your inner child, doing something that you were always born to do. It is your true calling. And some of you have just put it off until this point. So there can be a certain level of financial frustration or a lack of independence. Some of you may actually be like willingly giving yourself up to a master. Some of you may be apprenticing yourself, or the thing to do here is to apprentice yourself to someone who has already mastered the thing that is your true calling. So there may be an element of wax on, wax off. Like I always knew I wanted to be a YouTuber. I'm a teacher. I'm a Life Path 33. That's the master teacher. And in order to do that, I had to apprentice myself to someone where I basically worked for free for a whole year, sleeping in my car. It sucks. And so maybe there's an element of that. Maybe there's an element of that like apprenticeship phase that you feel like you shouldn't have to do it at this age or something like that. You know what I mean? For some of you here, and what you don't see coming as well, you have the Magician, the Six of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. So the Magician is all about potential, okay? It's like the avatar frequency, and it's the Six of Cups has to do with your hometown, your roots, nostalgia, and the Seven of Swords here is also here in what you don't see coming. So I almost feel like there's this frequency of maybe like you having to like go back into the past to like to re to retake something that was always yours in some way, Sagittarius. I feel like there's an element of like, if you don't walk down your true calling, someone else will do it for you. So maybe there's an element of soul retrieval here, and maybe there's actually a physical manifestation of that can be a little bit daunting or a little bit like sketchy to traverse. And like there is an element here to embrace your negative emotions as it's related to this frequency. There is an element here of like transcending the melodrama and the psychological drama that is related to you actually achieving your true calling, because anything that's standing in the way of that is not worth you letting it get in the way of that. It's like the frequency of, if you start, it's like, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's going to take me 5 years. Well, 5 years is going to freaking pass anyway. And when you get to the 5 year point in 5 years, wouldn't you have been more glad if you started it now versus, oh, I got to 5 years because if I started it then, and then it'd still have been 5 years. No. So, like, the reason I'm saying that is because in your advice, you have the Five of Cups, the Two of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. So this has to do with sadness, deep emotional pain, and unfinished business, and basically two different paths. You can either like choose the path of like it's going to be hard. You have the whole world in front of you, but you have to admit what your true calling is. And you have to suffer the pain of not having been on it. Can you eat dirt? Can you suffer the pain for not can you suffer the pain for having refused the call to up until this point and have the whole world in the palm of your hands soon? Or will you take the safer option and curl up for the rest of your life and die with regrets and die with it's like it's just messed up. This is not where you want to be. This is unfinished business from your past. Maybe somebody have beef with someone from your past. You need to clean it up. Face it. I don't know. I think that's it. That's it. Clean it up. All right. All right, now let's move on to Capricorn. How am I doing? How am I doing? Hello? How am I doing? You don't know. What? Good? Thanks. Sorry. All right. Let's move on to Capricorn. What energy does Capricorn need more of for May 2025? Sexuality. Get in, boys. What's wrong with you? Okay. So the energy that you need more of is sexuality moving forward and higher purpose. Rainbow emoji. I'm just kidding. Uh yeah. Well, you have ascension here. You have alignment, heart chakra, and healing. So like I'm not there's nothing to be this is not gay. This is not gay if you don't want it to be gay. This is sexuality though, between you and your beautiful partner. Okay, moving forward with you and your beautiful partner into your higher purpose, but maybe, you need to up your sexual game in some sort of way. You have ascension and alignment. Okay, AA, and so for some of you that's Alcoholics Anonymous, and then you have heart chakra and healing here. So you have higher purpose, moving forward, sexuality, ascension, alignment, heart chakra, and healing. Sound fair enough? Okay, so now let's keep going, and let's actually get into this reading for Cap. This is the reading because yes. I swear to God, I have like 100 beings inside of me. Ball don't lie. We're leaving that for you then. May 2025, Capricorn. Yeah, getting eccentric, getting authentic, getting wild, facing Trump. Katy Perry. That's just okay. Yeah, it looks like it's a very explorative month for you, Capricorn. So in your overall general energy, you have the King of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and also the Four of Pentacles here. So I feel like this is I just hit the jackpot. So you hit the jackpot in some sort of way in terms of your security. I feel like you just need to build on it. Now, there is an opportunity here, for some sort of situation that's quite dark. And in terms of stabbing in the back, perhaps being stabbed in the back, your opportunity is the Nine of Swords. I feel like for some of you, it's to clean up a situation that someone feels betrayed, you feel betrayed, that was not meant to ever be like that. Or it was meant to be like that, and it is meant to be like that. So, some of you here, there's an opportunity to recognize that you're about to be stabbed in the back, to recognize that you have been stabbed in the back. For some of you, there's an opportunity to stab someone in the back. Some of you, my every word, a effing nightmare. So like some of you here need to work out something, but it's so maybe there's like there's an integration of your devilish side and like being the super villain. I feel like some of you are going to be coming into your villain arc era actually, like being okay with being the bad guy, especially if you want success in this world. You can do anything. Someone's always going to have something to say about you no matter what you do in this world. So you might as well do what you want to do. You know, someone is always going to be ultimately it's called the catch-up effect. You know, it's like when you really go after what you want to and you have all these parasites, triggers, and fleas crawling on you because when you advance, they have to like either match your energy or leave your life, but they try to pull you down and they don't leave your life. Then yeah, it's like you have to stab some motherfucker. You have to stab in the back, but it's not that you're actually stabbing them in the back. They are doing it to themselves by remaining attached to you when you're on your expansion path, but you probably had a soul contract to do that. So why are you flipping out? And then, yeah, there's certainly some sort of adventurous karma that needs to be worked out here. And what you don't see coming are the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and also the Ace of Swords. So this is some sort of balancing gift giving and receiving, adventure, horsemanship and bravery, and truth. So in what you don't see coming, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of retribution frequency, karma, but there's a lot of adventure to be had, definitely. And I feel like this is you entering your villain arc, the bad guy era, you know, and it's almost like you entering into a little bit of like a rough and tumble era because, you know, the Knight of Wands and the centerpiece to your reading and what you don't see coming, this is not the most like predictable or reliable energy. It's the energy that talks a big game and can sometimes back it up, can sometimes not back it up. So I feel like if you're talking crap, if you're entering your villain era, you got to be able to back it up. You know what I mean? You got to be able to back it up. And I feel like there's also an opportunity to capitalize on beings that are talking crap that can't back it up. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of satisfaction in you know, like shutting someone up who's talking crap to you. Right? So I feel like that's in what you don't see coming as well. And then in your advice, you have the Eight of Wands, the Temperance card, and also the Knight of Swords here. So there's definitely some sort of advice of speed, you know, because the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Swords have in common is that they're fast. You know, this is all about speed, acting quickly on decisions. And you know, the temperance card here is all about angelic frequency. It is the frequency of of kind of balancing things out, being moderate. So moderate speed, moderate speed, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. But then you have this is your opportunity. We're gonna have to clarify why that's your opportunity. And then in your challenge, you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Star, and the Hermit. And I usually don't do three cards for your challenge, but this is your challenge. You know, this is to do with a Virgo frequency, Aquarius frequency. It's also to do with your legacy, though. I feel like there's a challenge to your legacy because do you want to be perceived as the villain or do you want to be perceived as the good guy, like type of thing, or like ultimately integrating both of them because it's not healthy to see the world in terms of like black and white like that. But sometimes you do have to play your cards. And I feel like many of you here, there's an opportunity for you to be seen as someone who is just absolutely a little bit like reckless, but it's controlled. It's the person who poses as a fool is not a fool. Or the person who knows how to tap into their dark side, but uses it for good intentions is not actually a villain. You know, it's kind of like, using anger for having been betrayed as well. You know what if I could actually if I could say one thing that's happening the most clearly in this reading, even way more clearly than anything I've said up until this point, is that you need to absolutely feed on the fact that you have been stabbed in the back, betrayed. This whole reading just came into clarity for me. Your opportunity is to realize that you've been freaking stabbed in the back, left for dead, forgotten, counted out, laughed at, mocked, pissed on, shit on, stabbed. Now your opportunity is to channel all of that into your greatness, into your victory, and becoming fiery and using that as fuel. Like anger is fuel if channeled in the proper directions. But it's not about getting there's nothing watery here. There's nothing about emotional anger. There's about like fire energy flowing within you. And your challenge, I feel, is like thinking very deeply about how you want your legacy and your hopes and wishes to go. Because it's like you don't want to become like the person who stabbed you in the back. I feel like you need to act quickly on this, but I feel like it's stupid to like stoop to their level. Albert Einstein said like you'll never solve a problem at the same level the problem was created at. So you need to play a game that is above the game that was tried to be played on you. And you need to do it fast with the guidance that you're getting. Because remember, the energy you need more of is healing, sexuality, moving forward, higher purpose, heart chakra ascension, and alignment. So maybe it is about transcending some sort of like box that people have tried to put you in. Maybe it's about like allowing people to eat their words, or maybe it's about you being an example of what someone looks like who has been completely burned, taken for granted, and still becomes a productive human in this world, or like still doesn't let them, like anyone else I feel would have broken. Like even when I went broke, I ain't break. Like that's the kind of frequency that you need to be in. The young hit a we don't age. Mystic gets younger every day. Thought he was Avatar. He might still be. Thank you, Capricorn. And she just turned into a demon. The the clock did it. Hi, demon. Yeah, there it is. We're gone. Gone. Hold on. Hey. All right, let's move on to Aquarius. So, what energy does Aquarius need more of for the month of May 2025? Positive focus is flirting with you. Integrity and relationship. Positive focus in your relationship. Catalyst and comfort. Positive intention. Yeah, there's something about like what you put out is what you get back, particularly in relationships. Moving forward, productivity, positive intention. There's something about definitely counting your blessings when it comes to your relationships, Aquarius. And there's something about, you know, whatever you focus on grows. And it's important to resource certain people around you for certain things that they can bring into your life. And understanding that everyone is your own teacher in some sort of way. Not that you want to overly go into that, right? But you do have integrity and relationships, right? And you see this card, how the integrity, there's two kind of like spikes sticking out. So I do feel like there's a situation where you have to maintain your own integrity in your own relationships, and that may have to do with like having, you know, difficult conversations in some sort of way, but there's also something about positive focus and a catalyst. And like, I feel like this is about you remaining positive about the relationships that you have. You know, there's nothing here about moving on that I sense really right now. You know, catalyst is about an agent of change. So be the change that you wish to see in the world, especially when it comes to your relationships, and being a catalyst of comfort as well. You know, I feel like just taking an extra step to make sure that after you have a difficult conversation that people are comfortable, that you show them, hey, I appreciate you holding space for me. I appreciate you being willing to have that difficult conversation is really important. And you also have moving forward. So I think that in your life, putting one foot in front of the other, moving forward is very important. Productivity is very important for you at this time as well. I feel like it's time to keep going in terms of your work, never resting on your laurels. Don't get complacent at this time. And you have positive intention too. So positive focus and positive intention. I do feel like there's an element here that there's an element of like having to work through kinks to make sure that people are in the right place in your life. But I feel like there's an element of like a little bit of like dreamy practical dreaminess that you can bring to your relationships that is going to really you'll thank yourself later and other people will too. And there's also something about viewing things with a glass half full attitude. What does this person actually bring into my life, and being grateful for those things. So I think that's what is some frequencies to be aware of as we start this reading off. But let's go ahead and do this reading and see what's coming your way, Aquarius, for May 2025. Hmm. Okay, Aquarius. So it's interesting. I do feel like there's like some sort of difficult situation that you're moving on from with divine protection here. In your overall general energy for May 2025, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. You have the Three of Swords to start off May, so you may have already had that behind you. I actually intuitively feel like there was a heartbreaking experience for you, for most of you, that has already actually passed at this point, and now you're divinely protected to integrate and move on from it, and you're divinely protected to move forward with it. So you have the Three of Swords, you have the Chariot, and then you have the Ace of Swords as well. So this is all about divine protection from heartbreak and truth. It's the sword of integrity as well, and new ideas. This is a fresh slate of your mind. So that's why I think the positive intention and the positive focus thing is coming out. So in your overall general energy, things seem to be going better as the month goes on. There can also be a little bit of movement. There can be some sort of experience of travel that was heartbreaking that you had to witness or experience directly. Um, this is all about a heartbreaking move that had to be made, I feel, or that is in the process of being made, but ultimately will set you free. So perhaps for some of you, you had to have integrity within your relationships that kind of like let someone down, but it ultimately set you free. The truth will set you free is kind of the frequency that I get. I do get you traveling a lot and enjoying that. If that's what you're doing, I feel like that's important for you to do. Your opportunity is the Page of Swords, which is all about gathering more information, being very studious, being very observant of the energy around you, and absorbing, just noticing things, noticing people, being a people watcher. I feel like it's important for you to read at this time for some reason to get more information. Maybe to get more information on what you experienced as a heartbreaking situation. Your challenge is the Justice card, so there may be some sort of legal situation that's pending that you're kind of wondering about. This also is karma, though, and it may have to do with the Three of Swords situation. There may be a third party situation that is bringing you pain at this time. I feel like that is the case for a lot of you, but for most of you, it's behind you, and there's actually going to be integrity moving forward in this relationship. We're going to see why the Justice card is here. This also may be some sort of justice for some sort of meddling within your own information. This may have been a leakage of information. This may be going on this month. Like, there's an opportunity for you to understand that there is protection around you as people are meddling in your business a little bit too close for comfort. I do feel like there's this energy of you there's an opportunity to realize for some of you that you are being watched, that you are being surveilled. You know, we always are basically nowadays, but it's time for you. There's some sort of justice being brought to that surveillance, to the information gathering. There could also be some sort of information gathering about you that actually puts you in the driver's seat of non-guilty or some sort of freedom. In that way, people could have been trying to set you up in some sort of way, and then the plot completely failed for many of you, is what I feel going on here. Um, then you have, in what you don't see coming, of the Three of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles. Excuse me, the Six of Cups here. This is all positive emotions flowing. I feel like this is you resourcing people around you, putting them in the correct place in your life. You know, this is about groups and social ability and you know, socializing, festivity. I feel like that's going to go really well. I feel like there's going to be new alliances that are made as a result of you being potentially even on the right side of the law, some sort of pending karmic slash legal situation. The universe is got your back in this situation. You also have the Six of Cups. So there could be something to do with your childhood family, childhood wounds that are healing themselves out at this point. This could have been what this is about, potentially. The Six of Cups also has to do with children, your hometown, your roots, your foundation, your ancestry as well. So there could be a lot of positive ancestral healing that you're witnessing or discovering, and there's new groups that are being formed as a result of this, new alliances coming into your reality that's going to be beautiful. And your advice, you have the Ace of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. So this is about inspiration, making a decision to move in a certain direction based on your long-term goals and your legacy. I do feel like there's a new legacy that is opening up for you in some sort of way here, Aquarius. So it looks very positive in that way, Aquarius. You know, this looks like inspired action to put your foot down in some sort of way. You do have the Justice card in your challenge, so there may be some sort of legal thing or some sort of thing that you consider to be unfair that you're going to move through, that was heartbreaking to you. It may leave a callous, it may leave you somewhat hardened, but I feel like that's actually the advice, is to not, you know, you may be soft, but you may not be available for mistreatment, is kind of the energy that's coming through here. Also, I feel like your legacy is being balanced out. You know, something that maybe you were afraid of is now being put in a direction that you feel more comfortable with as a result of someone making a really crappy decision that kind of set you free. I don't know why I get that. Like someone making a really crappy decision that kind of set you free. Yeah. So let's just clarify a few of these cards to see what's going on. Let's clarify the Three of Swords, why it was here, why it is here in the beginning of May. You have the Moon, the Ten of Wands, the Knight of Wands. This could have to do with mother. This could have to do with difficult emotions, shady situations with women. You have the Empress, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. This could have to do with scrambling of money, financial issues, but also a situation relating to your own mother, potentially. Yeah, you have the Moon, the Tower, and the Ten of, and your family. The Ten of some sort of burden that you were released from in a heartbreaking way. Nevertheless, you were released from it. So this could have been like an ending relating to someone here or something like that. So let's clarify what the Justice card is in your challenge. You have the Two of Pentacles, the World, and the Fool card here. So there could be some sort of pending situation. You know, things are still up in the air, but there's optimism. There's a fresh new start for you, and there is a closing of a cycle. So although something, some sort of legal situation, some sort of karmic situation is still up in the air, I think that your challenge is that by the end of May, it will actually be closed out. It will actually be closed out, and you'll be set free in that way. Okay, Aquarius. Um, as long as you know that you've done things in integrity, because that's the energy that you need more of. There could be a shady situation that's kind of hanging over your head, but I feel like there's new alliances that are forming to basically help you navigate the situation and what you don't see coming. Let's clarify why the Page of Swords is in your opportunity. Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Yeah, this is about like being open to life. You have the Four of Cups, the Temperance card, and the Queen of Cups as well. So there could be some sort of a situation that didn't go as planned for someone who was trying to set you up, or this could also be some sort of balance situation to your emotions. But there was, because remember you have relationships and integrity. So there could have been something that you had to say no to, and it's something that you continue to have to say no to in order to really have unconditional love for yourself and the other person. Because maybe there's some sort of enabling that was going on that had to come to an end, I feel here, Aquarius. It honestly looks to me like you're in the driver's seat. It looks like the worst is in the past and that the best has yet to come. I don't think the best days of your life have even happened yet. And there seems to be some sort of thing relating to your childhood that maybe like a childhood dream that is now being is coming on board and being like access, like you have the inner strength to actually go for something you've always wanted, or something that you've always wanted is now opening up for you. So that's good. So yeah, thank you, Aquarius, for that. Remember to keep positive because I really do feel like the worst is now behind you. Okay. So that's the most important thing for you to realize. So finally, let's go ahead and move on to the sign of Pisces. All right. So let's move on to Pisces. See what is going on. All right. All right, Pisces. So what energy does Pisces need more of for May 2025? Okay. There's definitely something here about um realizing that the universe is communicating to you in synchronicity and being excited about that, being excited about your relationship with the universe because the first three energies that you need more of is logic, synchronicity, and relationship. So you have logic, synchronicity, and relationship. So I feel like there's an energy here where if the universe has been trying to point you away, actually, there is a certain sign about the universe has been giving you synchronicities about this person does not belong in your life. How many synchronicities do you need, Pisces, to realize that this person is not meant to be in your life? I don't care how long they've been in your life. I don't care who they are to you. How many synchronicities do you need to 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 like exit this negative situation? Why are you keeping this negative person in your life if there's so many synchronicities telling you? So the universe is not just going to communicate you to you logically. It's going to start communicating to you through synchronicity in order to help you activate your logical mind, right? They say unusual goals require unusual methods, but even if you have typical whatever you have going on, there's certainly a specific relationship that is not meant to be in your life anymore that the universe has been trying to give you every sort of synchronicity imaginable that you have to follow it at this point. There's also new relationships opening up for you based on synchronicity as well. So you have empowerment, self-trust, and excitement. So when I say synchronicity, I mean the universe is going to give you signs, coincidences. There are no such thing as coincidences, right? So it's all the universe is alive. Everything has consciousness. So you have also empowerment, self-trust, and excitement. Empowerment, self-trust, and excitement. And so I feel like this is really a month to be excited and to trust your gut, trust what the universe has been trying to tell you this whole time and actually apply your logical mind because sometimes you can just be lost in the sea of I don't know. Yes, the universe is like 1111 every single synchronicity possible and then you're still sitting there like I don't really know. It's not the time to do that. It's time to act on the synchronicities. Now, it is fair to say that sometimes when you blindly follow synchronicities, it can lead to something that is really, really bad, yet ultimately leads to your expansion. So for some of you, you do need to be aware of that. Just because you follow synchronicities, it doesn't mean it's going to lead you to something that feels good, but it will lead you to your expansion. But for most of you, I feel like I feel like actually following the synchronicities is going to lead to something that doesn't necessarily feel that bad. It actually feels it's actually self-trust at this point. So sometimes the universe is putting synchronicities in your face to be like, it's trying to set you up to something that otherwise you wouldn't have experienced or figured out. But at this point, it's trying to, for most of you, for the vast majority of the Pisces out there, it's trying to set you up for something that is meant to be out of your life. So follow the synchronicities logically. Okay, you'll do yourself a favor. And you also have sacred geometry. So this is about being in the right place as well. So like I said, all I've been doing is astrocartography reading. So if you want to figure out how to activate sacred geometry and be in the right location, if you change your location, you change your life. So if you want to book a astrocartography reading with me, click the link in the description box below, and you can do that. You'll thank yourself later for that. I guarantee it. So anyway, with that being said, let's now jump into this and let's do this reading for you, Pisces, for May 2025. What energy is coming through for Pisces for May 2025? Yeah, Nine of Wands, Ace of Cups. For some of you, for some of you that you have unfinished business with someone from your past that you may actually be guided to like reunite with. It's not for all of you, but for some of you, you needed to hear that. I don't know. Hold on. Hold on. Let's do this for Pisces. What energy is coming through for Pisces in May 2025? What energy is coming through for Pisces in May 2025? Yeah, so there's definitely an opportunity for you to remain optimistic, Pisces, during this time. Okay, so your opportunity is the Three of Wands. And this is basically to allow your ships to come in. I feel like maybe there was a decision that was made based on synchronicity recently that is important for you to wait, remain optimistic at this time, remain positive no matter what you have going on. That's very important. And get excited about the future as well, because this is a frequency of someone who is looking forward to things. And sometimes in this world we get bogged down and we're just like living for you know reasons that are not really great. Like we have to give ourselves things to look forward to. That's the important thing. Give yourself something to look forward to. Okay? Then you have your challenges, the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is about healing. It's about taking time out for yourself to meditate. So it may be so exciting that you don't have time to really sleep, or there could be some sort of situation that requires you to heal that you're not really doing at this point. So we're going to clarify to see why that's there. But, your challenge and your opportunity is to be still, basically. Do a lot of inner work. Okay, so this is about like your opportunities to get fired up on the inside while you wait for life to come to you. And then Your challenge is the Four of Swords, so that's basically about taking time out for yourself. Make sure you're getting at least 15 minutes a day to yourself, etc. Now, your overall general energy is the Three of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the Hierophant. So I do feel like with this energy following synchronicity, there's new work collaborations. I feel like there's something here that you want to learn. The Three of Pentacles is all about apprenticing yourself or learning a new skill or teaching a new skill. So I feel like there's something here that you've always wanted to do that you're going to start doing or you're going to continue doing. And like there's always infinite things to learn about any subject. And that's part of the fascinating thing about life, is that life is infinite. That's part of the reason why I love astrology and tarot so much, because no matter how much you learn about it, there's always more for you to learn about it. It really doesn't have any ending. So you have that going on for you. You have the Page of Cups as well when it comes to your overall general energy. So this is a really optimistic frequency of learning. And then you have the Hierophant as well. The Hierophant is all about the bridge between the heavens and the earth. It has to do with officials. It has to do with things like government, marriage, institutions, learning, higher learning. So with the Three of Pentacles and the Hierophant here, this is definitely some sort of official learning. You could be getting some sort of official certificate, or this is definitely official style learning, you know? So maybe there's some sort of optimism that you're going to bring to that. This could also be the union of yourself and someone in some sort of contract, or some sort of you could even be like marrying yourself to your profession in some sort of way, or like knowing what you want to do. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You may have like a difficult choice. You may have two different sides of you if you're a female at war, or if you're a man, you know, you may have a difficult decision to make, because you have the Queen of Cups, you have the High Priestess, and you have the Queen of Swords as well. So with this energy here, there's two queens facing in two different directions, and then you have the High Priestess in the middle, right? You have the High Priestess in the middle. So this is definitely about, once again, it's about that synchronicity and that logic here. And this is about the merging of the two, I actually feel, because the Queen of Cups is all about listening to your intuition, whereas the Queen of Swords is all about logic. And then the High Priestess is actually a blend of the two, right? The High Priestess is not only mystical, she is logical as well when she needs to be. So I feel like this is using some sort of feminine power. If you're more masculine, even if you're feminine, there could be some sort of difficult choice between two different women in your life. You could also have a lot of spiritual protection at this time. But remember, what's standing out to me is that you need logic, sacred geometry, and synchronicity. So this is about following the synchronicity. The universe is trying to talk to you. Okay. And this is about following the logical synchronicities in your life. Don't ignore what the universe is telling you. This isn't what you don't see coming. I feel like your spiritual powers are enhancing, and there's a new relationship that you're having with the divine. And by the way, this isn't what you don't see coming. Now, whenever you have the High Priestess and the Hierophant, these are the spiritual authorities, masculine and feminine. So there could be some sort of relationship, some sort of very important relationship coming on board for you. In relation to that. And then in your advice, you have the Knight of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Justice card here in your advice, Pisces, for May 2025. So with this being here, I feel like there's some sort of adventure that you are now having a moment of awakening to, that you're going to go on, particularly when it comes to learning some sort of new skill and making it official here, right? Being extremely passionate about the learning process and being a knight, you know, being explorative, having fun, talking a big game and backing it up. You also have the Justice card here, which is karma, positive karma. I feel like if there's any legal situation, there could be some sort of karma here that you weren't aware of that you were carrying. Like in terms of the big picture of why you incarnated into this life, I feel like this is actually something to do with your calling or your life purpose, and trusting yourself to balance out the karma that you were given, or I should say the karma that you opted into with your own free will. I feel like there may have been some sort of thing or some sort of activity or some sort of situation that you had a pre-birth agreement to actually do that maybe you weren't aware of, and now that you're going to logically follow the intuition in the way that only a Pisces could, it will actually be revealed to you. So this was kind of more of, I feel like I only Pisces are going to be able to decode what I just said. So we're going to leave it at that, Pisces. I hope that this helps you. And for everyone listening, once again, if you want to book a reading with me, you're not going to get it at a lower price than this. So coaching opportunities, astrology, astrocartography, and more, click the link in the description box below. It's been a while. I've missed you guys, but I'm happy to be back. I'm happy I got these rounds in. So I'll talk to you guys very soon. Peace.